Hi there. So I say welcome to you all. It's the first out of a couple of videos, interviews, discussions that we do here, Tauer Perfumes, on this couch in our little office, in our manufacture. So it's one of the first ones, one of a couple that will follow, because this year we celebrate 20 years anniversary of my venture that I started 20 years ago. If I say we, it's first me, Andy Tauer. I created this venture 20 years ago, and then it's Pedram, who you don't see here right now because he's behind the camera and he will ask a few questions from time to time. It's the first one out of a series, so already now stay tuned for the next one. Let's start maybe with these 20 years. You know, when I look back, sometimes I'm amazed myself how much the world has actually changed in 20 years. It's hard to imagine, but 20 years ago, for me, there was no Facebook and there was no iPhone yet. I mean, the iPhone was maybe there, but I was not ready. I did not have it yet. So the world was really different when I started creating perfumes. Now when I say 20 years anniversary, it's basically because 20 years ago, in January 2005, I brought a perfume to the market called Le Maroc pour Elle. This doesn't mean that I started then to work on perfumes. I started a couple of years ago because, and I think this is important to understand, if you want to create perfumes, you need to work on this craft. You need to train your nose, you need to get to know your raw materials, and it's not just 20 or 40 or 60 essential oils or synthetic ingredients. It's much more, and this takes time, this takes years.
Hi Andy, I just want to make a couple of questions for you. Why do you want to do the couch interview actually? Let's go clear. What is the purpose of this series, couch interviews?
Well, the thing is the following. I realized that first 20 years is a very good occasion to talk about myself, ourselves, our venture, what we do. I also realized that we do a lot of things in a different way, and from time to time it's actually good to send a reminder out to the world that the way we do things is different, and it's different because we started from the very start on, we were different, you know. And 20 years is a long time, and I think it's also good to remember what the world was like 20 years ago, the world of niche, of artisanal, indie perfumery, because it was very, very different.
Okay. Can you tell me about the beginning? How you started with the Le Maroc pour Elle, number 1, number 2. Tell me about it.
Okay, so the thing is the following. First, when I started working on Le Maroc pour Elle, which was the first perfume that really ended up on the shelf in a shop where you could buy it, I had a background of somebody who just loved to, who enjoyed to play with fragrance, with fragrant raw materials. This creation part, this trying to find the perfect form for your fragrant idea, was what was driving me. And in a nutshell, back then, a little bit more than 20 years ago, I was lucky enough to be unemployed. I had a lot of time, I had good friends. One of them had a bookshop in Zurich and he was selling a lot of stuff from Morocco. And he asked me, can you not make a perfume that is centered around Morocco? Maybe on the feminine side, that's why I called it Le Maroc pour Elle. And that features something that is typical for Morocco. And I took this as an invitation to go a little bit further with my craft or with my creation, my skills, and I tried to come up with something, with a fragrance that encapsulates for a woman or more on the feminine side, what I figured is Morocco, or can be an aspect of Morocco. So we are talking about raw materials from Morocco: rose absolute, jasmine, Atlas, cedar wood from the high Atlas. And I came up with a creation that I brought to the store 20 years ago that is really like uber opulent, a big opera perfume that focuses around raw materials from Morocco.
Thank you. I heard, actually, it's better to say that I saw it, that you have 2 liters of batch 001 of number 1, Le Marco Puelle, and also Exotic Moroccan. Is it true?
Yes. Actually,
okay.
Actually, from time to time, like every 2-3 years, I check this. You see, when I did my first batch of Le Marco Puelle for this shop, I mixed it in glass bottles, okay, and I gave it the name, the batch number LMPE001.
And so for the Moroccan auch too?
For the Early Desert Moroccan, I did exactly the same thing. I mixed it in glass bottles, and I already back then I had the idea, because it was new and I was not experienced, I did not know. I said to myself, I keep some on the side because I want to see how this perfume develops over time. Okay? To see whether it stays good, what happens. And I can tell you, after 20 years, Le Marco Puelle, batch 001, and later in September, Early Desert Moroccan, batch 001, sitting in the dark, in coolish temperature in the cellar at around 12 to 14 degrees Celsius. These perfume matured to perfection. They get better every year. They get mellow, round, fuller. It's hard to describe. Le Marco Puelle gets really dark, I have to admit. Early Desert Moroccan didn't change the color that much, a little bit more to the brownish side, but it's like they behave like good single malt whiskey, getting better from year to year. Maybe one day, I don't promise anything, maybe when I have the 100 years anniversary, I will fill a bottle or 2.
Or maybe we do it sooner.
I
know that there is also some secret about aged perfume that you are working on it from a couple of years ago, that we start to work together. And but let's pass on, and we don't talk about it because I think it's a kind of secret. Let's leave it as a secret. So after 20 years, what would you make it different? I mean, if you have a chance, what do you change? If you have that chance that you can go back and you do it differently.
Okay, this is very good, because you see, when I started to create and then later to produce perfumes for a market, I was 100% clueless. Not about the perfume, but about the market. And I was completely driven by just the vision to bring nice, lovely, wonderful, unique, special, classical, whatever you want to call it, perfumes to the world, and to bring a little bit of joy and beauty to the world. And for a very reasonable price. Still today, I want to do that basically. But I learned 2 or 3 things. So, for instance, when I brought the Air du Désert to the market, I used a very simple, standard, off-the-shelf, you can buy it in units of 100 pieces, bottle. And I really say bottle. It was not a flacon, it was just a bottle with an ugly spray and a plastic cap.
So basically a standard bottles, maybe we can just say that.
You know, compared to today's standard, you wouldn't even call this a standard bottle, you would just call it an ugly thing that you get from the internet somewhere. And this I learned, you know, I cared only about the perfume. But I learned that the perfume needs more. It also needs the presentation, it needs the packaging. And it took me many years until I was there that I was ready to say, no, my perfumes are so special or so nice, or I love them so much that I want to have them also done, produced, filled into special bottles. And this is the thing. This bottle that I have here, I would, if I would start again from scratch, I would bring the Le Maroc Bourrel and Air du Désert Marocain batch 001 in this bottle. This is a lesson I learned because it's really worth presenting a beautiful perfume also in a beautiful bottle with a beautiful packaging.
So Andy, thank you for all interview. Is it something that you want to add, because we can make another series of the interview of couch interviews? What we should expect for the next couch sessions?
Well, to be honest, I don't know 100% yet, but I have a proposal. I think we should devote a few minutes to Air du Désert Marocain, because Air du Désert Marocain is an iconic perfume and I love it, a lot of people love it, and maybe we can talk about 2 or 3 things that usually we don't talk about when we talk about Air du Désert Marocain.
Perfect.
I can maybe mention a few words about how I created it. And then maybe if there's time, we can also talk a little bit about Texas. That might be fun.
Okay, perfect. So we have a conversation about number 2 or Air du Désert Marocain, and feel like, maybe we also have some words about Lonesome Memories number 3. So basically we go based on the creation that you did.
Yes, and maybe I can also mention one word about how Pascal de Charbonne and me, how we collaborated at the very beginning.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for your time, and we need to work actually, as you said.
To work.
So we have many work to do. It's just January, and your phone is also
the next call.
Yeah, and your phone also is calling.
So bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.